it is Jasper has been trained on marketing, all marketing resources, marketing best practices. And underneath Jasper sits at least a dozen different LLMs or a dozen different AI models, maybe some similar LLMs. But it's got a dozen different AI models that each have specific purposes. So when you're going in there asking Jasper to do a certain task, it will use the best model for that job. And so Andrea can show you some of the different places where how we interact with it. It's got an AI chat built into it. It also has some remixing of content. It has apps where it walks you through creating certain pieces of a campaign or entire campaign. And I'll let you take it from here, Andrea, but we've been on Jasper since 2020. So their evolution has been crazy to see what they've done. And it's so good now. It was okay in the beginning, not really great, but
It was pretty good to begin
yeah,
with, but now it's way better than pretty good.
yeah.
Okay. So thanks, Nicole. This is what it looks like when you open it up. So this is basically your home screen here. It's pretty easy to navigate through because over on the left-hand side, you can have your favorites. This is sort of your back-end knowledge area here. And then you can choose how you want to start making content. That's basically these three areas. Also on the homepage, it will show you your recent documents, recent conversations. So if you were using chat, and then the apps. So like Nicole was talking about, the apps are really great. They're like what some of the LLMs are calling model or agents or GPTs or gems or, depending on which one you're talking about, they all call them a little bit different. But in Jasper, they call them apps. So basically, these are all set up to give you the best results. Just like even an AI PRM prompt, it's kind of just like that. But in this case, like we can pick one, like a blog post, and you can search through apps, which is great. They have like, is it marketing? Is it social media, performance marketing, content field, blah, blah, blah. Everything's like categorized in these different ways. So when you actually want to use the app, you just click on the use app, and then it will ask you the key questions to get you the best results. Um, it sets up the whole flow for you. It's a workflow basically. So you go through, actually, I wanted to show you the apps first, but I think what's even more important is if we start with the setup. Since we are on the enterprise, we have groups. So we use this for our clients. So I could give client A, client B, client C folders, and I could say, okay, Marikar, you can have access to A and C. Nicole, you can have B and A, or however I need to divide that. So you can give access to these. So each one could have certain people in it, or it could be private, and that includes knowledge that goes underneath it. So each group is set up not only, in our case, we use it for clients, where you can put in the documents, knowledge, brand voice, visual guidelines for each folder or group. The Jasper IQ area is where you built out all of your own voices. And since we have enterprise, I think we actually have unlimited voices. I think with a basic account, you get 3 or 5. I haven't checked on that lately. But for us, we definitely need more than 3 or 5. And your voice can be per client. You could have 5 voices for a client, whether it's social media, customer service, maybe it's your blog post. You can create voices for all of those. And I know we've shown a little bit on how to create some of these. When they make it really easy, you can just do your website into here and we'll base a voice just on that. That way, when you are creating content, your voices will show up here. So we have a lot of voices. So in our list, you could see we have a lot to choose from. So if I'm building something for let's see, Crooked Spoon, who is an ice cream company. I've got their voice in there, and I can upload additional file sources. I can add more text or knowledge or other URLs, but we'll just do it really simply and hit next. We are promoting mint chocolate chip ice cream, and you get 1,000 characters. So I'm just feeding it this for now, just to show a basic response. The key benefits, and you can even use these little AI generated responses, which we'll do for this. Made with fresh, locally sourced mint, rich, creamy texture. We'll just leave that. And you could pick your audience. How would you like the landing page to be structured? If you have a specific way you like your landing pages, we use the story brand layout of a landing page. So you could place that in there, or we'll just do a generate response for that. And then we'll generate something. And then you get the beginnings of your landing page. Starts with a header. It will also categorize all these things. So give you an H1, which is really great if you know about building websites. The fact that it will call out like what each headline should be makes it really easy to copy and paste this into WordPress, and it will take those headers with you. And that is based on optimized website design. So you only want one H1 per page, and it knows that. So it does the content with that kind of information in mind. You could also ask it
Andrea,
for,
I'm sorry, but could you
that's
go
okay.
back on that particular, did you say that it's embedded?
What's
And that's,
embedded?
oh, I'm sorry, what?
What was embedded?
The meta description. Is it, I've noticed with
No
Jasper.
meta description unless I ask for it on this
Oh,
particular one. I would ask for it for sure. If I was actually building a landing page, I would definitely ask for that. What I'm saying is embedded are like the H1s and H2s.
oh, I see what you're saying. I understand.
Yeah. And they actually, Jasper has an integration with something called Surfer SEO, where it will actually grade your content for this landing page or any of your pages, kind of like how Yoast does on WordPress. So it will give you ideas on this section should be longer. This you need to use the keyword more, or you can feed it actual keywords. Like if we wanted to generate this again, like custom information, we could give the keyword of um, mint chip and see, regenerate it and have that keyword written throughout the copy. So there's a lot of different ways you could do it. But the thing I like about Jasper is just like Nicole was saying earlier, it's trained on marketing. So it's not just spitting out um, some content for a landing page. It's thinking about based on these things, based on if you give it knowledge, if you give it benefits, audience, because you can get in here and say things like females, ages 22 to 55 or something, and it will actually do research on that and regenerate the copy based on that.
Okay, and then I saw that integration with Surfer SEO, and then do you pay? I know it's a cost for Surfer SEO. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot how much, but is it something that you guys are using as a tool?
We were using it, and then I just found that we weren't taking advantage of it based on the cost. And we
Okay.
also have Yoast. So we've been just using that. But what I will say is Jasper is coming up with some better analytics where you can actually, so say we took this landing page copy, we actually used it. There's a way to connect your content and how it actually performs via like Google Analytics. And then it learns like how your content did, and then you can rework your content based on that information.
That is amazing. And
Right?
so you're saying
Yeah, I know. And so I'm waiting for that before we like
okay.
connect back to like Surfer, or is it even going to be Surfer? I don't know, but that's what we're waiting for. So we can have actual results and new content based on how it actually performs, not just kind of guessing how it did.
And so that's the next wave
That's the
that
next
I'm looking
level.
out
And
for.
that's what, like, I'm really excited for that because that just
Yeah,
means it's going to keep learning about,
that's amazing.
right?
That is
Um,
so cool. Okay, well, thanks
they,
for making my day.
oh yeah. Well, that was easy. They do have, let's see what's available on analytics now. They may have taken it off. They had it in beta for a while.
Yeah.
Um, but it just wasn't giving everything they wanted it to do. Trying to think where it might be. I think they took it out
And
because
we need to sign up for Surfer again so that we can do the SEO stuff properly in there.
probably will help with subject lines for the newsletter
That's
and all
what
that a little bit more. So
that's what
I
I
do
was thinking.
like that we could see team usage, which is this is also part of the enterprise. So you could see 1.6K generations, how many hours saved, a percentage of active days, percentage of users active, total users, and even by person. So you could see who creates the most, and Mark is leading our content development, so you can see that there. And then what other people have done. So you could keep an idea, like monitor what people are doing, or if they're not using it. Like if we've given someone a seat and like they never use it, is it worth
Yeah.
that? Or can we switch them out with someone else?
Okay.
So the main thing for us with the enterprise is the ability to have this Jasper IQ area and these groups. So for us as an agency, we have clients, we have different purposes, and what I would create for Marky would be totally different than what I would create for Acton versus AI Smart Law versus any of these. And each one can have their own set of data. So basically, you're kind of making these makeshift models. So this would be my Acton model, and I would teach it by uploading documents and PDFs and text and whatever I wanted to train it on. And when I develop things inside of this space, I can do it based on that knowledge only. There's also the visual guidelines, and this is a newer feature um, where you can add pictures that would um, be approved, or color specifications and sizing and all kinds of different things that you can put in there. And that way it will, because Jasper does do images. So we can, like, let's go back to my content. Let's create an image. And let's see, what do we want it? Let's share a motivational quote. I'm just going to have it generate some stuff because for the sake of time. And who do we want it? Let's reach out to professionals. That's who we want to target with our quote. And let's see what it does. Oh, now it's telling me it can't do an image. That's right, because they built it into here now. I don't want to add my own image prompt. I'll just add that into the generation. Still not doing it. I don't know why that's not working. Should be creating an image. Oh, there it is. It went to the top. My bad. The use of motivation. Yeah, I'm not, that didn't really turn out how I'd want it to be. Let's see. Let's not use a quote. Let's use something else. I actually don't want any text content because I don't, so I'm just going to remove this. I don't like AI text, so we're just going to not do that and generate based on this. Funny because it always gives you the newest output at the bottom, but it's putting the image up at the top. We don't use the image creation in Jasper so much. I would use Midjourney, Leonardo, something like that, but actually this is pretty good picture. Nobody seems to have too many fingers or an extra arm or leg anywhere, so you totally could use that if this was for social media or blog posts, things like that. Stuff that doesn't need to be right within a certain parameter. There's also these check guidelines here. So if you have established visual guidelines, you would have that, it would always be checking whatever was coming up. Same with style guide. So we like to use, there's words we don't want to use like unleashed or thrilled or um, Nicole prefers the Oxford commas, so that's part of our rules. And as you'll see here, and so you can set all of these things. Not only that, but you could set them for each client or each use case.
Yeah, and if you if you stay there for a sec,
Mm-hmm.
you look in the upper right, it says needs review.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does needs review based on what it calls out as a brand guideline issue. And so it'll find something, but I have found this to be a little wonky
A
at
little
times.
bit because it always wants to capitalize the
Yeah.
apostrophe S for some reason. I don't know why that is. This is a newer feature, the style guide and the
Yeah.
visual guide. Um,
So we take it with a grain of salt, and it's nice to have. It
mhm.
it'll get better like all the other features.
Yeah, and this is the Surfer integration, which is really cool when it comes to writing blogs, more long form content. Um, let's see. I would like to show more about the apps now that we've sort of looked at the basics of how it works. Email sequences, social media, landing pages, press releases. And we have used this one and have gotten a lot of success sending it to the client with they wanted 0 changes, even with quotes that were made up by the people in both companies. And it was picked up by 850 plus different news channels and papers and all of those things. So we've had success definitely with the press release. Um, we can build outlines for courses in here. I have created many strategies for social media or marketing, doing research on audiences for different products, services for all of our clients. This is our main tool that we use to deliver our services to our clients. Are there any specific ones you'd like to see, or does anybody have any
I
questions?
look at battle cards. Just
I have a question. I think this is covered when you do it in a campaign. So if you wouldn't have, if you wanted to do several things, a blog post, LinkedIn post, Instagram
Mm-hmm.
post, etc., a newsletter on one particular topic, you would only have to fill out the information on the left once, right? Because
Yes.
then you could pick that you want it to do all of those different campaigns. And do you know off the top of your head if that's available through Pro versus business?
I
it
think campaigns are available on Pro. I'll have to double
I
it
check
can
on
bring
that.
it. I'm going to bring up my thing right now. Campaigns is Pro. You're right.
yeah,
Um,
you only get like 3 campaigns a month, I think, with
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's the
pretty,
limitation
the
is the amount.
Pro is pretty meager when you look at the the business.
yeah.
So I'm doing just a test campaign. Of course, you wouldn't name it this. You would have a better idea of what you're doing when you come here to create a campaign. But for the sake of this example, you just come in and click your voice. If you have a visual guideline and you want it to develop probably social media or blog posts, photos for you, you can also add knowledge to it. So I'm going to say this one is about AI in your agency, which is our 4D workshop we were talking about earlier. Then you hit select content. And from here, which I really love this just to get you started, is like maybe it's a blog post, or I really like the blog ideas, frequently asked questions, a landing page, a case study, nurture sequence, pick as many as you want. And when you hit generate campaign, it creates all of them at the same time based on that information. So you'll start to see them populate.
Okay, and I remember Nicole showing this, so this makes even more sense.
Yeah.
Twice around always does it.
So like in the case of this test I'm doing is about that workshop. It's a perfect example of a use case to do a campaign, right? So you're going to want to talk about it in your emails. You're going to want to do a blog. You're probably going to want a landing page, right, for people to sign up. This is actually how I built our landing page and some of our emails and all of that for our course.
Let's look at the blog ideas. Unlocking the future. No.
How AI Smart is transforming businesses today. Subtitle, explore the journey of businesses stepping into the future of AI Smart's innovative solutions and their transformative outcomes.
That sounds like a good case study.
AI Smart, the key to demystifying AI for your business growth. Discover how AI Smart simplifies the complex world of AI, making it accessible and impactful business of all sizes. So it gives you a bunch of different ideas. I actually would go a step further than this. You don't have to, but I usually do keyword research, and you could do that within here as well.
Yeah, I was
Like
gonna say, let's develop something and show the chat over there. And this works like Chat GPT or anything else, but you can see down below it says AI Smart with the little megaphone right below the text bar. And that means it's going to be in the voice of AI Smart, and you can pick any voice that you want it to be. But then it's still that, and you can attach documents or knowledge too.
So documents that haven't been uploaded yet, documents that have, so it takes you directly to your knowledge base and you can say, oh, these 5 things I want to add, and it will just put them there. Keyword optimization. No. You could do some keyword research, SEO purposes. And it does ask you the clarifying questions, which is nice. So now it's, just not cooperating with me today. Let's list some long tail keywords. There we go. It tells me tools I could use to do it, but I just want Jasper to do it. So based on this research here, here's a keyword list. So benefits of AI automation in business processes. Again, these are long tail keywords, but what we could do is then take this based on this list of keywords, provide a list of SEO optimized blog titles, and we'd go from there. I like to know that there's some sort of control behind what these are. So this is the result now that we get based on actual keyword research. So I'll move that over here so we can look at them. 10 benefits of AI automation in business process you can't ignore, a step-by-step guide to implementing AI automation in small business. And again, these are all related to the keyword research we did right here. So the idea with Jasper that they're trying to get to is that you don't have to go anywhere else for your info. So when they do have the analytics, you could stay here, you could do your keyword research here, you can do your blog writing, you can do approval processes in here. There's to be reviewed and draft and finished, and there's ways you can tag people to look at things, and you could really use it for a lot of your processes. And that's what they're trying to create, is like an environment you go into if you're marketing and you don't have to leave it. So that's another way that I would use it. I do like the campaigns, but I also like to have a little bit of control in what I'm doing. So I don't use the campaign as much as I would do it the way I just did it here. So doing the keyword research first and then asking it to give me some blog post titles based on that. That's just my preference. I also like that they have a community, and that's what this is, where you can ask questions, you can watch videos, you can go to live events, you can watch past events, and they also have an academy, and you can get certified, which we are. And there's different pathways and live and online webinars. So there's a ton of information that they provide and support that you can get to do all the things you want to do within the tool. Does anybody have any questions or something particular you'd like to see? Or, I mean, we can show Jasper really all day because it's, again, kind of endless what you can do in it. I just really like the control you can have in those groups and the knowledge and even who gets access to that. So if you had a VA agency and you had like 100 different VAs, you could give them access only to certain clients. So VA1 has clients A through D, and VA2 has, you know, these other groups. And so they helps you control access to client information as well. And keeps everything nice and tight on the content it creates. If it's only using the knowledge in that space, it's not basing it on, you know, the whole internet or, you know, outside knowledge.
I have a question. As a company, do you guys help other marketing agencies implement Jasper?
Mm-hmm. We've done specific training. I've created workflows for other companies. We had a client that worked with it was a super niche area and super technical. They would get these creative briefs from who they worked with. It would tell them how many words it needed to be. It would say what the titles needed, the words the titles needed to contain, and the subtitles, and so the keywords. And I was able to figure out a way to feed that into Jasper and get a result just on that. Like nobody had to write it, and all the information was valid. And this was so specific that it was like it's some metal, an aluminum of some sort being like 0.99% versus 0.999. There was like a real different, like super specific, detailed information, and it worked for them. So it was really exciting to see that we were able to be that niche, especially since I didn't know about that. I mean, we've had clients that build large winches for tugboats and workboats. And I mean, I'm not an expert on that, but we're able to provide content based on their previous content, based on these different pieces of knowledge we add in and voice and all of those things. With that, you can like really create so much. And even if there are a few changes, like we always say 80-20,
Yeah.
with a lot of them after a while, especially the clients, you get more and more and more, you can get 90 plus. And I say that loosely because it's usually like 95 or more, but you can get really good. That's the whole point, right? To take less time to get really good at, your client, you know what they want. So you could build a knowledge base of all the articles they've approved and have performed well. And you can tell Jasper to build more based on that. So it's just the more information you give it, the better. And when the analytics part comes, like that's going to be next
Wow,
level.
I know. And so I may have a referral for you all. And it's in agriculture. And so there are some real nuances. So that your example really helped me to understand that
And
it's
it's
something
almost
that's an
better when
option.
there are those because most of those people have a lot of content behind it because it is so
So
specific. And then
exact.
it's much easier for us to build knowledge. It's some of them when they are just starting out, or you don't have a lot of content, or maybe you don't even have a website yet to build your voice off of. Like that's when it becomes more difficult. So,
And
yeah.
then my other question, I'm full of questions
Yeah,
today,
you're good.
is in terms of the contract with clients, it dawned on me as we were talking that in the contract, do you include that, there is AI generation that's like some kind of, I'm thinking through what that clause would look like, but is that something that you guys include in client contracts
We have
as
our
like being
AI
transparent at that?
policy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like in being transparent about maybe the tools that you use
Oh,
or
yeah.
the
We're fully
amount.
transparent. We
Yeah.
don't hide any of that, and we let them know that that's what we're doing, but we also let them know how we set it up so they're also safe. They don't have to worry about it. So
Yeah,
it's
because I verbalize it, but I don't have any contract language currently. So that's something that just dawned on
I
me.
would take, if you created an AI policy, I would
Mhm.
take that and ask AI to create something for a blurb about your AI policy into your contracts and just start with something like that.
Yeah, and if you look up AI smart marketing, AI use policy, I think that is the domain. Um, let's see. We have
And I
it.
remember it's all coming back to me. I feel like that song.
Yeah.
It's all coming back to me.
Mhm.
Yes, you shared that, and I think I have it.
Okay.
So don't worry about.
Yeah, it's on our website and
Yep.
it's long.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, great.
Yeah,
And
but
then I haven't had a chance to, because I missed the one with the lawyer, so I'm going to be listening to that, um, which talked about copyright. Um, I'm
Here's
gonna,
the link to this is a blog post that has maybe where's the chat? There's the chat. Here's the blog post that has the policy links and just a little bit more about AI use policy, but you can see the one that we have on there. And we are certified Jasper partners too. So we're listed on their website, and that's so we specifically have done implementations of Jasper for people, and helping them get the right templates or getting the right type of outputs and just,
yeah.
shortcutting their learning curve on how to use Jasper and get it
Mhm.
set up.
Okay.
I really love using it for strategy purposes. And that could be marketing strategy, it could be social media specific, could be social media channel specific. It's just so good at the outputs as long as you're thinking about all the things you want, or if you have an example of your strategy to feed it to say, these are the results I want, but I want it for this company, and here's their information. That has taken our strategy times down from weeks, 2 to 4 weeks to 2 to 4 hours sometimes, at least in the first draft preparation.
And
So
they have all of that. They're amazing. Happens to be all women. They're amazing. And so I think that they would really benefit from having a tool like that
mhm.
because they're a larger agency, right? So with me just being a solopreneur, having business doesn't make a whole lot of sense in this currently for me, but I'd love to sing the praises for other agencies that I think would really benefit from the investment.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a reason to upgrade to the enterprise, but when you do, it's totally worth it. And as a partner, there's other things involved in it, and that's where we're at. But yeah, I mean, even the pro account that you have now, I'm sure you're already seeing the time savings there. And
I haven't I'm still crawling on it. So that's why I'm excited for this. I feel like I'm and I just my epiphany is that I'm going to be utilizing it for myself currently because I was trying to bring on a couple of other clients to it and I really wasn't I was it, I was better off in Chat GPT. And I think that is part of me just kind of going back to like my comfort,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And so then I
Yeah, you
thought,
have to
okay,
make the
during this,
decision to like convert and do it. It doesn't make sense to
yeah,
pay for this and all these other tools if you're not going to use it. So,
yeah, exactly. I love how
Do
you
you
said that
do you see like
as your
non
voice, Charlie. Exactly. And so then I upgraded to, yeah, I'm at Pro right now.
that's
So I
great.
think I'm going to focus on just with my voice and my marketing efforts, and then I can bring in
Yeah,
a
even for
client
your
when it makes sense.
proposals and outreach to
Yeah.
clients, and you'll find value in it there. No,
Yep.
Adam,
for
okay,
sure.
Adam, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, do you see brands ever using this, or is
Yes.
it just yeah,
Hmm.
or is it's not just marketing kind of organizations
No.
or agencies?
No,
So
because you can create voice for your sales department, for your customer service department, for marketing department,
yeah,
for, so you can essentially create responses to emails or bright emails or approaching problems. We've given some of these examples in class about, when you're having a heated argument or a customer calls in and they're angry, like, how do you respond to this? And so you can build all that into this, just like you can in ChatGPT. This is just more cohesive for other people to access, to get more consistent content, to build out your knowledge. That's what Jasper is really about. I mean, essentially, it is using models, right? So it's not the same as ChatGPT because it has a special area of learning that it is, and it's always thinking marketing. It's not like that brain turns off. And when you talk to clients, whether you're sales or engineering or customer service, all those people would speak differently. And so you can create things on their behalf or tools for them to use. It's
awesome, thank
really
you.
a great tool. You're welcome. And they've got the academy and the community, and um, yeah,
Adam,
it could just be really powerful the more you do in it and the more you can bring into it and just like commit at that level of, this is where I'm going to run my content from. It becomes really,
Adam, how many people in your org do communications?
Well, I have a lot of different orgs. Is
Okay.
kind of why I thought about it. Like, would
Yeah.
it make sense for like one company to have this, or maybe you do the enterprise and it's cheaper and you just have like 12 different voices and split it among all these different LLCs or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you could absolutely do that because the annual price is about 15,000. It depends how many seats you want to get. So it would be just over 1,000 a month. And if you divide that, like you can have I think 5 seats for that amount. And the amount of content that we produce with that, like it's really it's worth it for us when we think about the amount of hours. Like in this last one, it said we saved 80 hours in the month. And when they first introduced that metric of hours, we looked at it and we're like, it saves us so much more time than it actually claims. And so if it's going to save
Mhm.
us 80 hours in a month, and even if we pay $1,000 for it, that's worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
I did put some examples of some of the brands that are using it for you.
Oh yeah, Adidas, definitely. That's a big one. I guess all of these.
Mm-hmm. The larger ones are in the first list and then the rest of them. So all of these companies are using it. I mean, Wayfair and they do a lot of content.
And
Ulta.
the big advantage here is you get that custom database. For us, it's the database and the voices because you can create custom GPTs, but it's never going to be able to hold a knowledge base the same way that Jasper can, and it's not going to be able to reference that much information. So you can only do, you would have to do like 20 different custom GPTs at
Yeah.
least to get those that's similar.
Oh, because you can
Okay.
upload like unlimited, basically, type of thing.
With an enterprise account, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you get 10 knowledge pieces for a pro account. But for enterprise, we have a lot of information stored in our knowledge. Like one of our clients, the one that was winches and capstans, we have all their product spec sheets and company information, company history. We have so much information on them and the trade shows that they would go to and their CEO and the company that they acquired. And then we started doing all the marketing for the company that they acquired. So then we had the knowledge from the new company and all their products and all their specs and who their customers are and everything. And it's all in that knowledge base and can be accessed with a couple clicks and used to produce content.
And the one thing I forgot to add with the enterprise is you get the API access. So you
Yeah.
can build out automations and some different things there.
And the API is generous. It's free flowing what you can do with it.
Just a lot of capabilities. But even again, Charles, at the pro level, it's still worth it, even if you can't get all your clients in there. But keep in mind that even though you get 10 pieces of knowledge, you can make those pieces of knowledge per client and just have a large PDF of all the client information and strategy and whatever you would need for each one. And that would get cumbersome if you had a whole bunch, but for you, I think it would work if you could you could make use of your knowledge base. If you get more clients and you start to have more information, I would definitely, best practice would be to do the business and have the spaces, separate knowledge bases and all of that. But there is some power even in the lower number of the knowledge base for pro.
Yeah, one day I'll get there. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's kind of like when you get a new computer or a new phone or something, do we ever really use our tools to the full capability? I mean, even we know how to use it and we are using, but you can see that there's areas that we're not even integrating, and still the amount of time it's saving us. So you don't have to know it all, and you don't have to be using it all for it to be effective for you.
Okay. This was really helpful today. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Welcome.
We are going to be offering Jasper 1 and 2. So actually, we're going to offer Jasper 1 for free. So it'll be a collection of videos on how to use Jasper. And then there's an opportunity for a Jasper 2 as well. So watch for that. It's already built out. I think we're just putting the final sort of back-end funnel automation stuff on it. So
yeah, and it's a self-serve Jasper training course too. And it'll go into the basics of setting up Jasper and then go in, there's a level 2 that has a little bit more advanced in what you can do with Jasper. Yeah. We do get asked about it a lot because we use it and we talk about it a lot. And so we like to have these sessions where you can come in and ask your questions, because it is like, it's one of the tools we've been using for the longest and we really like, and they're good. They provide good support too. Whatever the new regime is, it's not as good as it used to be for support. It used to be a lot better, but we still have decent contacts in there that'll get back to us if you have questions on things too. And they do webinars also. They do how Jasper uses Jasper. And so they have, I think it's once a month, they do a how Jasper uses Jasper session that you could sign up for also. So one of the things they do is they create multiple voices for the different social media networks. So they'll have like a LinkedIn voice, LinkedIn Jasper voice, email Jasper voice, blog post Jasper voice, because they have unlimited voices. So they'll set them up for every purpose that they need. They probably have an investor update Jasper voice. So they could create
and it's very segmented, right? But even if you had a basic voice, the content quality you get out of Jasper is better. So the more specific, like getting down to like Pinterest, LinkedIn, email, whatever, like you're just adding more to